This conference will now be recorded.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Approving meeting minutes from the November meeting. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 19th.
is it just that one page? It's on the back.
Oh yeah, we are missing the second page, aren't we?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed. Monthly financial reports, we have September and November from the meeting that we had missed. So we'll do two separate motions. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed.
Who was the 699 to WHKS? For engineering, that's reimbursed September.
Keller Barton.
Yeah, so that goes in the Keller Department escrow. I couldn't tell you what that was. It's like they take the money out to use it and put it back in.
So it's a pass through, because whatever the check they gave us to do that, we pay for it and then comes out of their escrow.
I'm just wondering why it was an EDA thing rather than a city thing.
I couldn't answer that.
It's not that big a deal.
I can ask
Let me
you.
go ask Kim quick.
And then the Nicollet projects, is that the solar credits or? Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the cash sheet for November 30th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's passed. No public hearings. We'll go old business to tulip tree marketing. You guys can have the floor.
So our understanding, we're here to something you guys might have in terms of potentially continuing services for social media. We did services for you in terms of implementing regular posts from August through November. And we also did August, September, and October Facebook ads for you as well.
And I sent out the statistics from Tulip Tree with the packet, and there's an additional grouping of them as well. This will end at the end of December, correct?
Well, so it technically ended at the end of November, but your
Yes.
posts go through December, so we work a month in advance. So your December posts are all scheduled.
Based on other communities that you've worked with, how do you feel those numbers stack up?
Well, in terms of communities, we don't do city Facebook pages for anybody else.
Okay.
But just with other clients of ours, it really just kind of depends on the amount of followers you start with.
Mm-hmm.
And just how active their social media is.
the analytics you see here, they're also greatly influenced by the fact you're running digital ads, or you did for a good chunk of this analytic period. Because Facebook tends to favor those who spend money with Facebook, which can be a pain, but because you were running the ads, you see significantly higher numbers than you would if you hadn't been running ads.
Because all of your ads connected to your Facebook page rather than a website or something like that. So
Mhm.
that really helped. If any of our other clients that had a similar following to what you guys have as a city, they'd be shocked by those numbers. But
Okay.
like Sammy said, it's because you also paired it with some advertising, paid advertising as well.
Shocked in a good way.
Yes.
I mean, as a whole, I know I've received 7 or 10 comments of people who's doing your advertising. And to be honest with you, I couldn't remember the name of the company, so I said, I don't know, I know the EDA is paying for it. I mean, my fault on that. So I do know it reached out outside of Zumbrota. It'd be interesting to see if we decide to do it again, how these numbers continue. My guess is there would be a decline of some
In
sort.
one sense, if we don't continue the digital advertising, we will definitely see a decline in the next analytics, just because it's kind of normalizing to the not paid reach.
Because it was new and there's different stuff out there hitting different local businesses and stuff like that. So I understand that. It'd just be interesting to see if we decide to stay with this, to see where these numbers are for the next 4 to 6 months. If it plateaus or if we still get that increase versus a decline. But I mean, I did get some people outside. I mean, Sturtville, I have a few clients in Sturtville that had saw it in Sturtville, so.
Well, they should know what you think.
Well, yeah, and I drove by your office today going down there, and I'm like, oh, that's where Tulip is, so right across from Two Brothers.
At least once a week, frequent there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's by starting the relationship paired with paid advertising. It's unfortunate that, it's not really unfortunate because you got good numbers, but we don't have that baseline, that we're talking about. You probably see without paid advertising as we continue to see where that normalization sits. Because we do our analytics typically quarterly, because that's usually gives a good overview, enough time to see something that gives us a more generic overview of the numbers versus if you had a really popular post, such as the football team one did really well. Those personal ones do really well when they get up there. So that 3 months is kind of our sweet spot to get a good idea of where those analytics are sitting.
when did we start with you guys, date was August, so it was a 3 month? And what was the,
August,
four?
September, October.
Yes.
and what was that price again?
We spent $4,800.
Okay.
With the 3 months of Facebook advertising as well.
Including digital advertising?
Yeah, total.
Okay. If we were to not renew right now and wait 6 months, what kind of effect do you think there would be?
Well, it really kind of depends. If you continue having somebody post, whether it's regularly or not, but at least having some activity on it versus having no activity on it.
Yep.
Did we see a lot of additional posts beyond what we were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Local posts or, yeah, it's mostly community-based, like updates. I know I saw a couple.
That's the biggest thing that makes me nervous about pushing the city of Zumbrota page is how, I mean, we're posting about things that our city cares about, but ultimately we're trying to reach people outside of our city. So,
Our residents?
right. So what does it look like? I know we hemmed and hawed about starting over. So if we were to start over, how long does it take to build a social media presence on a platform like this versus just continuing to take it from our city? It's not a doubt in my mind that the football post did great because we are very much a small local community, and seeing stuff like that, that's huge. Does somebody in Stewartville care about that? Maybe not so much. But we also want them coming to our Covered Bridge Fest. We want them coming to shop in our stores for their holiday season. We, the summertime, we want them to come and use our trail system, so, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fair point, but Zumbrota doesn't have like a tourism board or anything like that, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, if you had one, with a designated staff to be able to answer questions and promote tourism, I would say then absolutely get them their own Facebook page. But because that doesn't exist, it'd be a lot harder to build that following because there's not a lot of manpower behind it, so to speak.
Sure.
However, if it is predominantly the Covered Bridge Festival that is your main thing you want to promote, it is something that that has its own website.
And its own Facebook page.
Yeah, so it's something that if you guys wanted to support that, we could just do Facebook advertising up until that time, whether it's on the city's Facebook page, or if we want to talk to whoever runs the Bridge Festival's page, and then we'd push people to the website to get more information. But then that's less on growing the city's page following and more on just awareness of the festival. So that's an
In my
option
opinion,
too.
that Covered Bridge Festival is basically a month time, and 2-3 weeks of advertising, and then a week after that. I think we also need to strive on hitting our downtown businesses, which is our striving downtown. And then we also have some other bigger commercial stuff too, or businesses too in town too, that I think we need to hit the other 10, 11 months out of the year versus just the Covered Bridge Festival.
Yep. So as all things in marketing, there's no right or wrong answer.
But is there other ways to advertise on some of the other social media outlets, TikTok, Instagram? I don't even know the other ones out there that maybe, I know my kids are more, they don't even have Facebook because,
Right.
high school kids are not Facebook people anymore. It's just, was it MySpace back in our day? That was big. You don't remember that, but you might, yeah. So,
But,
that would be another way too, is change the geographics of age wise to maybe work on hitting some of the Instagram, the TikTok stuff like that.
Andrew, the digital advertising that you did, because Facebook and Instagram are connected through Meta, it did appear on both platforms.
Okay.
Mhm. Those are definitely possibilities. It's not as effective unless you have something to pair it to, whether it's an account or a website. And since we don't really have a tourism website, that's a little hard. But again, if we went back to the Covered Bridge Festival, we can do Google advertising where that can be placed far beyond social media platforms. And those are more so, you'd see them anywhere that they place ads on websites, news outlets, they have a lot of those. Some of Google partners such as YouTube would show up in that. And that can have a broader reach. But
That'd be something that we would, like we have Facebook, we've been doing Facebook through you, we specifically do Google advertising through you.
yep, we have Brian who is certified to place with Google, so we do that as well. But if you've never done it before, that initial setup time usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks to start learning and growing and normalizing, to use that term. And there's a 3-month minimum commitment for that, just because it takes time to establish some history. But even with that, if it's for, like, we want to make sure that there's an intentional place for it to direct to. So if it's the Covered Bridge Festival website, or if there's, I don't recall if there's a chamber website. We want to make sure that wherever we advertise, we can push them to a place that makes sense. So if we're advertising for tourism, does it make sense to go to the city webpage? We've got to decide that. Versus if the city webpage is just made for residents.
But it could also be something too, where perhaps a page of your website is designated to tourists, because we can make it go to any URL. So if we created just a web page for tourism on the city site, we can direct all advertising to just that page as well.
Is our promotional booklet that we produce, is that on the website at all?
It's on the city website.
It is on the
Yeah.
city, the whole thing?
It's a digital version.
You could URL to that?
Yeah.
And then people would have more information about everything in the city.
Is it on there just as a PDF, or is it a reader within a page? Okay, so then the only downside to going directly to the URL that goes to that PDF is there's no button on the page to get somewhere else. But you could put a PDF reader within a page of the website. That is a plugin that then would show, still show the PDF from there. So that's an option too.
Yeah, personally, I don't know that just going to the Covered Bridge website is the, like Todd was saying, is that the place to go all year long? Probably not. So maybe something with the city website for now until something else develops, if we decide to continue. And this brochure, this booklet we put together is pretty extensive, and I think it hits all aspects of the city, doesn't it?
Yeah. I believe it does.
Would it be possible to get an estimate of the cost to do Google advertising?
Yep, I can actually tell you right now, it's pretty fixed. It's $485 a month. That's gonna go up to $495 on January 1st.
You say 485?
$495 it will be after the first, sorry, price increases. But then that is our service fee for the month. And then it's 10% of whatever amount you want to do in terms of advertising. So our minimum is 500 for Google Ads, 500 a month. But depending on how big you want your reach to go, it could be 1,000 or 1,500. I think to start, we have anybody who's just starting out start at that 500, but sometimes we find out that's enough. And then other times we find out, because Google is happy to tell us, if the competition is too great, we need to increase our investment.
So
So-
basically $1,000 a month?
Yep. Be at 1,045, if I'm doing my math correctly.
And if we were to continue on with you, what are you looking at? I mean, do you have a time frame and a cost involved, or?
So our social media is just a fixed rate per month. Typically, and I don't know if we shared this with the group, but typically our digital is separate from social media. We grouped it for you guys because you had a set budget and a time frame, a shorter time frame, but we can, what is it, $5.95 for just Facebook?
I think so.
I think so.
When you say just Facebook, does that include Instagram? You said it did?
That
For the digital advertising, yes,
Digital
but
did.
for just social media management, no, it does not.
If you add in Instagram, then it's an extra $300 a month for the additional platform.
Instagram is more of the younger folks,
Yeah, I mean,
which,
Yes, I'm not on Instagram, so it must be.
and when I would say younger, I would say 14 to 21. And I still think.
Jeez, Todd, you're making me feel
Real good over here.
Okay, I'm gonna make,
I got kids the same way, so I mean.
we're gonna make you feel
I
worse.
use Instagram.
yeah.
I
I
use
think
Instagram
it's-
more for business
I
than
think
I
it's
would
the
Facebook.
20s.
Facebook is like catching up with like family
Yeah.
and pictures, but Instagram is like, that's where you like go to shop.
Do you do your business, your personal business on Instagram?
I don't have time. I
I think
hate
it's-
this world of Facebook and Instagram algorithms. I don't want to fight with them.
It seems like Instagram is, in the 30s, 35 up to 35.
Yeah, the main,
Yeah.
the top demographic we see on Instagram is that 25 to 40 range right now. It's like our.
The age you're talking about is TikTok and.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
and the Instagram side of things is really photo heavy too. So as long as you have a library of photos, that could be a place to explore. But that's usually where we lose people, if they don't have a good library of visuals.
I mean, in my opinion, I think the dollars are spent better on internet, social media versus a bulletin board or a highway board. Because I mean, one, it's hard to see what the numbers are or what we're getting in return, who's seeing it. I mean, I don't know how many times you drive down 52, I look at them, but I don't retain them. I mean, you look at them just because you're sick of cornfields, but I mean.
You need a good book then, Todd.
A good book. I can't read them.
You gotta listen.
I can read my phone.
You gotta listen.
What's that?
Shoot, you forgot it's
Only
behind
got me
you.
one time for being on my phone.
It's hard to look at the pictures in his books. What is our budget?
No, it's, let's see here.
Do that.
403.
That's
So
what,
our budget is, that's where we usually take it out of 403, a promotions budget. It's going to change, obviously, with the end of the year. So the budget we want to talk about in January.
Yeah.
Our January meeting. We have the,
So if we sign, I mean, just to look at numbers, if we happen to go with a year contract, it's still that 495 or whatever a month?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't get
For
a
the
discount for the digital, okay.
No, Facebook is $5.95.
If we did your posts within the city's page,
How much would it cost us right now to do what you've been doing? 595
For an entire
Plus-
year.
per month?
plus the 495. So you guys,
$1,000 a month.
yeah, I mean, we,
Or 1,000.
plus the advertising, so 1,500 a month if you did what we were doing now. But the advertising you only did for 3 months instead of the 5. Admittedly, you guys got a steal of a deal. We lost money on 5 months.
You didn't lose money.
We track our time
I know
like-
how politics.
We
work.
track our time like lawyers do, so we always know where we end up.
so I'm confused. You're saying 595 plus 495.
If you do,
$1,500 a month.
yep, so 595 is just to do the calendar of posts that you see in front of you each month on Facebook.
This one.
And then if you added the advertising on top of that, to facilitate the advertising, that's $495. And then that would be, then we'd plus 10% of whatever advertising you did. So at $500, you add $50 to that. So $495, so $545, then $595 and $500, whatever that would add up to.
So we just got done paying $4,800 for 4 months.
Yes.
So that's $1,440 a year, which breaks down to $1,200. So we did get a steal by what you're telling us. You might have lost $5. No. So, okay, okay.
What we can do in the January meeting is have our budget for the year and then
Mhm.
You're looking at about 18 grand a year, would be my guess at 1,500.
I'm not as good at,
Like math's not my
can't
strong
you do
suit.
math in your head?
No, I got a calculator.
Gotta have a calculator
Yeah.
from you.
Same.
What
Well,
if
should
you
we-
you could send me a proposal, like a paper and I could bring to the next meeting.
Sure.
Yeah, and if you can explain, you said 4 different categories to get to the 1,500 bucks. What are we getting for the 495? What are we getting for the 500?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yep.
I would see, and it'd be interesting, that's what we got here is for the 1,500 bucks, right? What we've got now, okay.
And it would be, I guess I would like to see a recommendation. And you already kind of did that by having what you've done for us the last 4 months.
Mhm.
But based on that, and based on what you're hearing about how we want to try to market to businesses, or people coming into town more so than the festival and that type of thing. I mean, obviously, we wanted people to come to the festival, but now we'd like to switch that a little bit to focus more on the people coming into town and the economic development side of things. if this is still, what's the best media source for that?
Sure.
Okay?
And with digital too, once you get your feet wet and a history built, it is easier to turn on and off. If, let's say, the winter months are slower and you don't necessarily think it's worth pushing people to come here because they're not going to, just
Yep.
because it's those months.
Yep.
Like, once you get your history built, it's easier to shut it off for a few months and then start it up once, spring comes and people are moving a little bit more. So that's what's nice about digital, because it's not like a billboard in print that's going to be up there for the 12 weeks you paid for it.
Mhm.
So,
But there's not really a way for you to look analytically at who our followers are. And I know we've got 88 new followers. Are they from this area? Can you see are they outliers? Like, is there a way to see that on Facebook?
Trying to remember, Facebook's always changing the privacy settings and updates, and it's changed a lot in the past year. I believe we can see like general location, like city-wise. You can't see gender anymore. I'm not sure if we can see age. We could at the beginning of the year, but I feel like that's changed.
But you could tell us if these 88 people are from within 10 miles of Zumrota or 100 miles of
I
Zumrota.
can't tell you those 88 people. I can tell you you're following as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
if we switch your digital to Google, that's got a whole separate data
Google knows
source.
everything.
Yeah, I know, they're creepy.
Terrifying way.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good job. I mean, I appreciate what we did. I mean, I think we got more return for versus doing the billboards that we did on
Absolutely.
52. Because we don't know,
Yeah.
other than seeing it.
It's hard to
We don't
know
know. So at
anything.
least we have some numbers here. If these increase every 4 months like this, I'd be like, wow. I mean, but I don't think that's going to, because we didn't have any numbers for a base. So it'd be interesting to see with the next 4 months and so forth, where that goes.
Yep. And with the comparison between Facebook and Instagram advertising versus Google, you are likely going to see a lot more impressions through Google, but you'll also hit a lot more dead air because Facebook, they're contained on where they advertise. So that's just something to consider, because if we start on Google and you get some analytics back and you're like, holy moly, it's 500,000 impressions versus the 200 and some thousand you got. A lot of times people are like, well, why wouldn't we always just stick with Google? Well, Google has a wider spread that may not be quite as effective, whereas Facebook is hitting Facebook users type of thing. So it's a little more targeted on Facebook, but you will get a bigger reach on Google. So you can hit the people who aren't on Facebook or other social media platforms.
So I was just looking at some of the city set parameters to 25 miles around Zumbrota. What would be the benefit or the pros to doing 50 miles or doing 10 miles? I mean, is it better to set it bigger to get more of the out people to come to Zumbrota to shop and visit that? I mean, I guess I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to social media, so.
It's a very valid question. The obvious answer is yes, there's more benefit if people are going to drive within an hour. I mean, we're talking 60 miles out, but then you're going to need a bigger investment because you hit more people and you'll lose the frequency. So your frequency, I think, was about 4 or 5 per person, which is good because you want it to be right in there. So it's not annoying at like 8 times a person. But at only, 1 to 3 times a person, it's also not as effective because it's not ingrained in them as many times. So by expanding the reach, with the same amount of money, you hit people less times, if that makes sense.
Right people. At the right time.
You have our contact information.
But just that you have to study that and know that, no, you don't want to really spread it out too far because then they're not going to get as many.
Yeah, because if you get 60 miles, you're into the south of Metro, and so then you're adding tens of thousands of people. And
More money for that.
and then you're competing against everybody else who's trying to hit them in the cities who are quite literally spending probably 10 times what you guys are. So it's just
You might have touched on this, but do we know which ads we paid for on Facebook?
Mhm.
Is that in here?
Is it on?
I think Brian has some of the top ones or examples. He listed a couple examples on the back of the second
Ones that
hand.
We're
Paid
paid
for, correct, yes.
Yep.
At the top.
Do we know specifically how those performed being paid?
So with the digital advertisings, those aren't the only ones. We provide a list of different graphics and different captions and they mix and match. So it's not always the same ones that appear every time.
Sure.
But typically Brian puts the top ones on there. So I'm assuming those two are the top ones.
Okay.
So with our goal of economic development, how effective would it be to target audiences? Like we're trying to attract restaurants to town or something like that. How do you do that on Facebook or Instagram?
What was that?
Or Google.
I mean, it's tough because, I mean, the biggest detriment to what we do in marketing is the privacy laws that they've changed over the last 4 or 5 years because we don't know as much as Google used to know about us in terms of what we're interested in and what we do for a living, how much we make, those types of things. So really what we try and do is figure out where that we can find restaurant entrepreneurs and advertise there. But a lot of times when you have such a niche audience, you're just going to hit a lot of dead air. So it just costs more per acquisition to acquire those leads. Where if once you get more into the niche, we usually deal with direct mail and more sales tactics by humans than digital marketing efforts. Digital marketing is best for the masses. However, there's also Google search, and that's where you can capitalize on people that are searching for how to start a restaurant, things like that. Lots of things to noodle on.
Do we have anything right now? I mean, from the ladies for next year, can we get that from you if we don't have that? I mean,
Yeah, we can put that together and send it to you. We have not
yeah.
yet.
I can bring it to the next meeting when we have budget laid out for the year. See what we'll do.
And we might want to, as a group, think about what we want to kind of target. What are the key things that we're after with this money, with this advertising?
I mean, I can't remember what we spent on billboards, but like I said, I think this is definitely a
Yeah.
better way to go than the billboards.
Yeah, I agree.
You're on it on?
No, they're close enough so we get feedback. That's why I shut it off early.
I see.
Oh, I see.
I mean, and then, yeah.
So as I understand it, we're gonna get a proposal back and then we'll revisit this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for my eyes, is to see what the breakdown is. Of, like you said, we got 3 different categories and what we're getting for those. If there's pros or cons to do all of them or just 1 or 2 or. Because what we had the last 4 months, was that all 3 of them at 1,500?
I mean, technically you got those same services, but we bulked it into one monthly cost. It wasn't itemized. And that's where we kind of screwed ourselves, but that's okay. It was fun.
So maybe you'd be available for like a virtual meeting if you have questions.
Yeah, you bet.
Because I was afraid, because I'll ask questions about that.
You bet.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, 6B, Victoria Perez.
Ms. Perez is here.
Oh,
She's come today. She's resident of Rhoda, has applied to fill the open seat to the EDA. If she's selected by the EDA tonight, for the open seat left by Tina Hostager, which was left by Terry Jonathan. The term would last until December 31st of 2028. I sent you her interview questions. Is there any questions you have of Victoria while she's here? It's like school.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right. Now, Victoria, what we have here is a oath of office. I'd like you to write your name in here and recite the oath of office. And you just sign it and date it. And what I'll do is I'll send this to the city council. They have a meeting tomorrow, so it won't be on there. It'll be on early January.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I'll put you on the email list. What we do is we get these packets a week before the meeting. And then if you can't make a meeting, just let me know.
Mhm.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Feel free to recite that.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay. Do I have to write it first or it doesn't?
You can write it after you.
As long as you don't forget your name.
Like football.
I, Victoria Perez, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and to discharge faithfully the duties of the Office of Economic Development Authority of the City of Zumbrota, Minnesota, to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you.
I left out. So usually what is this, the third Wednesday or
Third
second?
Wednesday.
Usually the third Wednesday at 5:30.
Okay. That's great.
And I've got your email and I'll get you on the list.
Okay.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
This is Bob, Holly.
Hi, Bob.
Lindsay.
Nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. I've met her.
Yeah.
Brian, how,
Nice to meet you,
nice to
Brian.
meet you.
All right.
Good.
Well, thanks, Victoria.
Yeah,
Like I said, you
thank
can
you.
stick around and feel free to leave, whatever you'd like to do.
It's up to you. It's up to you. See you later.
Okay, new business. We have Anne Marie Stahl with Bridget's Cafe.
Yeah, so as I wrote it here, Anne Marie Stahl met with Brian about some financing. She's looking to take over Bridget's Cafe and she's going to change the name to Annie's.
That's correct.
Okay. Annie's, and as we know, the need for a restaurant is very big within the city and we want to keep her and help her out the best we can. She said, and I just basically wrote with Brian. She needs an operating line of credit to fund startup expenses, food vendors and payroll until cash balances get to a point where the business can cash flow itself. Ann has spoken to Brian of a line of credit for about $25,000. Would the EDA be interested? I wrote what Brian told me, and I'm glad Brian's here so that he can kind of elaborate on what we're looking for. So go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so what would, the proposal would be that the EDA would deposit 25,000 in the bank. And then the bank would open a line of credit in the name of Anne Marie doing business as Annie's. And that would be a revolving line of credit, operating line of credit that she could use that would be secured by that deposit. And then we'd set that up for 1 year and then see how things go. So that, the terms and pricing and that type of thing can all be worked out. The worst case scenario is that 25,000 gets maxed out, bank gets paid off because it offsets it to the deposit account. But where's the EDA with that? So it would probably be my recommendation as an EDA member to put some sort of lien on Ann's home as kind of a nuisance lien, we call it, just so she can't just walk away and not deal with it. So whether, hopefully that doesn't happen, but in my profession, I have to look at the worst case scenarios.
I know Kim would be, she was curious about what a lien would be too. She knows about that.
Yep. And usually that's how most of our loans have been, just like the one we just did for the guy that owns the building over on Fifth Street. We, took a mortgage on that building.
See, I mean, a couple of my questions on the business standpoint of it is, it's really not any of our information or knowledge, we don't need to do that, but is Ann putting any skin in the game personally, financially, to get this offset, or is she going in it to $100 in the checkbook and then she's asking us for 25,000? So, I mean, that's kind of if she's got some skin in the game, that makes my opinion on Eda to help her put some skin in the game. But if she's basically got not much skin in the game to go,
She can't get a line of credit though without skin in the game from the bank.
but I think they're using our money
Yep,
for
that's-
the collateral of the skin in the
Yep,
game.
yep.
That's my concern is she's getting a line of credit from the bank, but the EDA is backing her up. So that's my concern is, and the restaurant business anywhere is a tough go with food cost and labor cost. And just the wrong, bad week, bad weather can be tough. So that's my question is if she's putting some skin in the game, I'm more open to the EDA helping her put skin in the game versus, hey, I got $100 bill, I'm gonna open a checking account. And so, I mean,
Is she actually buying the business, Brian?
She's not. She is, the initial agreement, as I understand it, is that she is technically leasing the
Space.
Restaurant part.
The space, the restaurant, the equipment, that type of thing, for a monthly lease payment. And I don't know what that lease payment
Because
is.
Bridget owns the building, correct?
Correct.
She'd be okay with putting a lien on her house.
I don't know.
I mean, that would be my questions, and as a business standpoint and kind of protecting us. Now, if she was putting $100,000 in, she's just using that for a backup, it would be more okay to do it without doing a lien on her property. Just, I know a lot of restaurant owners in Rochester, and I know it's hit or miss, especially for the new people. I just heard Pondy's is closing. I think they got one more year left. So,
But that's more
Pondy?
a lease issue there. so-
well, that's Mark Keene issue. I mean, let's be real. I mean, but yeah. So
Well, it's up to her. I mean, she's got a good clientele if she can maintain it.
and she's a known face in the community for years, which is huge. But running a business and being an employee is
Totally different.
we know, I mean, it's a completely different
But
story.
I also know that somebody had skin in the game when Jake and I were 21 years old, going and say, we want to start a business. And it was our bankers who had faith in us to be like, you know what, I'm going to step out in faith and you're going to get the money. We're going to put your house on the line. And
You did put a lien on your house.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
We were 21, Todd.
Most 21-year-olds
I was still in
don't
college, but-
don't even have a house,
So,
so.
so you know for a fact that she owns a home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought she lived on mobile home.
Yeah, she lives in
18th Street.
which is, yeah. Which
Her
is.
parents live.
So I mean, I think to protect EDA
Yeah.
as a whole, we have to guarantee something,
yeah.
is my opinion. I mean, and we need a restaurant, we need to keep these restaurants. But if something goes, COVID comes back, or we get 2 weeks of blizzards, and you get 2 weeks of no income or very low income, that can put a hamper when you're paying rent, payroll, and food costs, because them are the first three things you're paying.
She'll have a tough few months too, probably during the winter,
Mm-hmm.
the first few.
Is there any way we can, I mean, put any type of guidelines? She only can withdraw so much per month, or is that not a? Cause I mean, I hate to, the first 2 months, she pulls out the whole 25,000, you still got March and April before the weather gets good, and now you're begging on,
Mhm.
and without looking at financials, what they have done, you can't make, maybe they're doing 60,000 a month, and there should be no way of cash flow in that. I would have a tough time believing they are, but
What is the guideline? She just pays interest when,
Yep.
or whatever she's withdrawn.
Yeah, so she would pay interest to the bank on a monthly basis.
Yep.
And then
At minimum.
yep.
Yep.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Ideally, she would borrow it and repay it and use
principal and interest at the same time.
use that cycle numerous times every month.
Yep.
And that's where she may need some guidance on that. But
I like to think that Bridget is not going to let her fail.
Unless
I
she's ready
know-
just to wash her hands and get out of the restaurant
I know
business.
that it's EDA money and we have to make sure that that is safe and secure, but I feel like putting her house on the line, if she's willing to do that, is,
Have you done a
It's like-
valuation on the home?
What if she doesn't want to?
well, then it's,
And I'm-
we have to lean something. Can't,
there isn't $25,000 of equity in it. So, like I say, that's where the word nuisance lien
Yeah.
becomes it's just something that doesn't allow somebody to walk away, that you have to address it. So,
And if some reason, worst case scenario, this fails and we don't get her money and that gets out there that EDA gave 25,000 and didn't do any liens.
Is there any way to ask if she has something worth $25,000 to put a lien on?
you already know that that's not an option.
Well, because I assume she's paying lot rent, right? She don't own the land there.
Right.
I don't know that one. I assume you're helping her personally, the banking with that, correct?
With
Annie's.
what? What aspect are you?
Or is this the only thing that she's doing is line of credit and really not taking a loan out for anything because she's just
Nope.
doing rent?
Yep. Yep, this is it. This should cover her startup expenses, and if she uses it correctly and the cash flow is there, then it should never get close to maxed out.
Can we as EDA ask to see a budget? What she expects her expenses are and gross receipt, or is that not?
You can ask for it.
Because and like I said, I don't think there's much equity in the house. I don't think she's gonna have that in the house to really put a lien on it. I don't know. But we need a restaurant.
Do you know if she's pursued co-signers or anybody else that could help?
That's been talked about, but no, it was,
Does an SBA loan do anything like that on that?
she doesn't own it.
and she's not gonna
Get
have,
any money from SBA or any other,
But she'll
she won't
own the
get other money
business.
from EDA because she doesn't own it.
she owns a name.
Yes.
She doesn't have an asset to,
Been there, done that. Yep, that's how long would the EDA funds be, like hers or in this line of credit? Like when
I'm
would they come
proposing
back?
1 year.
One year.
Yep,
Yep, okay.
proposing 1 year, because hopefully in not a best case scenario, but in an average case scenario, cash flow is sufficient that she builds up enough cash that she doesn't need it in a year. Maybe she needs to renew it for a year, so maybe the EDA is in it for 2 years. But I would proposed to only do it 1 year and then revisit it.
But
To
what if
see.
she's 23,000 in debt and has only made the principal or the interest payments? I mean, probably, I think it'd be, could you offer $3,000 a month for 6 months and see how that 6 months goes?
Well, I think she's planning to do some, somewhat, I don't want to call it remodeling, a refresh, there's probably the better word. Yep, so there's some expense to that, and then there's going to be some expense, right up front to pay the vendors for the food she gets in on opening day,
And
basically.
your license and
Yep,
accounting work. and all
Insurance
that,
and,
yeah.
yep. So,
It's gonna be, I don't know.
I've also recommended that she spend some time with the Small Business Development Center in Rochester to get an understanding of the financials. It's obvious after working there for 20 years, she probably understands most aspects of operating that business, but that's probably one that's needs.
Does she understand all the behind the scenes, the insurances and
Right.
taxes?
That's what I mean, that
Yeah.
working with SBDC to put together a budget to work with her on maybe for the first 3 months of operating to help her look at numbers and, make sure she's using QuickBooks or something like that to have those numbers.
And like you said, hopefully Bridget just doesn't,
I
Lisa, let her
cannot
hang
see,
dry.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
cannot just picture Bridget leaving her high and dry. Not after however many years she's been there.
Yep.
But yes, Bridget does want more time with her family. She's not leaving the
she's been
country.
there, what, 27, 28 years?
Didn't she, I think she just had her 25th
Was it? Okay.
anniversary party or something recently, so.
What's been past precedence here for these types of loans?
Well, this EDA hasn't had a lot of precedents to fall back on. There's other EDAs that would do this on an unsecured basis, just on an unsecured basis, just based on what Kurt's saying, that want to make sure that the restaurant stays operating.
Be interesting to see what the success rate is out there. If you take 10 communities that have done 50,
Mhm.
something like this unsecured, what is the success rate on it? Which,
Mhm.
without doing the research, there you go, Kurt, you got some research. Report next month.
Well, things happen and you gotta take some risk, I guess. I know the bike shop in Redmond just closed and that they had gotten some money
Mhm.
from the downtown
How
association.
many years were they open?
I don't know.
Is it 2 or 3 or is it 10 or 12? You know that? Okay.
I should. So, I guess that investment didn't work out for the downtown association.
It'd be interesting to see how that whole was wrapped up. Was some collateral or what the dollar amount was too?
Seems like if we get a lien on something, this would be something the EDA would want to make sure they get their money back, right? That's what the biggest issue is.
My question
Or at
is
least
what the lien's gonna be.
At least reduce our risk a little bit. If we could get even half of it back, if it really fails, at least we're not losing everything. And she's taking a risk by going into business, but
Mhm.
so,
I would just hate to have her use 25,000 in the first month or 3 because she's
Yeah.
remodeling and you're closed for a month and don't have an income or a week or 2. And now whatever hiccups, life, whatever happens and
We got new law in place for that, don't we?
0.88%.
It's money.
But if you haven't started work, you ain't gonna, yeah.
She's probably eligible for unemployment.
what do you need from us, Brian? Just,
Just if the board is so inclined to approve it, would
under
be,
what conditions?
yeah, and then Kurt and I and Kim would work on the details to make sure that the EDA's paperwork is correct. And then once those dollars get,
For our meeting in January, and okay it then?
Well, I think she's got to know,
We'd have to know before that.
yep, she's got to know because she's taking over January 1st. So if she doesn't have this line, I don't know. I mean, she's probably going to have other options, you know, a private investor or something like that. But
Is there any way to get an idea what the value of her home is? What the lien value could be?
I think there's,
I mean, without investing a ton of money?
yeah, there probably is, but I'm not sure. I mean, if it were a
Like you
bank,
said, that's more of just a, I don't, like you said, it's, you have it, but just for the sake of having a lien. Not that you're gonna,
Mhm.
I don't know, fall back on it, but
Kind of a short notice to get it to us to make a decision in literally 2 weeks, correct?
Well, it's been out there for a month, December 8th.
a week and a half ago.
So,
But I mean, that's still a short notice. I mean, a month before.
So you're saying, you're telling me the lien, if she defaults on the loan, if she can't pay the loan, the lien doesn't do us any good?
doesn't do you any good until that asset gets liquidated.
She just paid that fee 8 days or on the 8th, so 9 days ago, she turned her ad. I don't know.
Okay, so what happens if the EDA goes for it and she completely tanks and we lose $25,000? That's the worst case scenario.
It is.
That seems to be what the mayor is most concerned about.
100%.
Yeah. I think the city has spent dollars on other things that maybe weren't great investments either, but I feel like keeping a business in town is like our main job.
And I agree with that 100%, but now you're talking one individual,
One business.
one business.
Okay.
That
Looks
we
like you're
give
gonna
up-
be eating at Bridget's or at Annie's 5 days a week.
And it is, especially important since we're wanting restaurants. And I think the covered bridge or the coffee mill's gonna stay there until they find a buyer, but who knows? I mean, anything can change.
My take on it. And that's why I brought it up right away, the risk to the EDA. The bank in this situation doesn't have a lot of risk.
They don't have any risk.
I'm retiring from the bank, so I'm not going to be involved in this. So I'm trying to just look at it specifically from the EDA standpoint. And the fact, and you mentioned SBA, if SBA were going to be involved in this, they would weight this very heavily on the experience.
Run that
So-
by me again.
Experience.
Experience.
But she's been there 20 years, so I mean, that she at least knows it versus
Yeah.
somebody walking off the street that's been in IT to run a restaurant.
Yep, exactly.
Brian, is there a way that, you know, for our, not our aggrandizement, but is there a way we can build in with the bank that we would, I mean, we're kind of going in partners with Ann in this situation if we were to do this.
Very much,
And
yep.
I'm not looking for a weekly update or a
Mhm.
monthly update, but a quarterly. I mean, I think if we're going to do this for a year, I think it's reasonable that we should have a feel for how this is going. And again, I'm not talking about details, but
Yep.
there's a $25,000 line of credit. I think it's reasonable every 3 months we get a average balance of it that she's accessing. Would that be possible?
I think that's very, what's the word? I think that's
Prudent.
very prudent. I also think that part of that should be some sort of report from this, that she's worked with SBDC
Yeah.
too. I think that should be kind of a requirement for this loan.
I
too.
mean, and I get what you're saying, Todd, but so everything before the but is a lie. I get what you're saying, and I don't think we can, to Bob's point, carry on about the lack of dining options. And then when we have an opportunity to keep one, not take a serious look and support it.
The support is not that, I mean, it's not the issue. The issue is, are we gonna lose $25,000? And I would be better if it was, let's do 10,000 for the first 3 months and see where we're at. I mean,
The first 3 months is when she's gonna need the bulk of her line of credit.
I mean, how is this different than the loan we made to Rashid?
because we're improving his property
Yeah.
with hoods.
Is it lean?
Yeah.
And then he owns the building.
Yeah.
Got it. That's fair.
What was your proposal to Blue Duck? Do you remember?
Blue Duck was looking for a loan, no?
Yeah, they were, no, not a loan.
They were looking for a grant
Grant, I should say that, yeah. Free money.
50 grand.
loan. They wanted money
Never got
to
into
put that,
offering them anything?
pardon me?
Never got into offering them anything?
They only wanted a grant.
Yep.
They
They
weren't
wanted free
interested in, any. Yeah, they weren't interested in anything
They
else.
just wanted 50,000 to put that hood in.
And what was the opposition to that?
We don't really have grants to give away. We have,
Yeah.
we have like low interest loans, but we don't just have money that we can.
That's what we're doing here.
And that's what we're doing here.
Mhm.
To be paid back though. So in a sense, it's a loan. It's not free money. It's not. And it's just to keep, that's not coming back to us. We're giving it to her for a year and then after 1 year, she's giving it all back to us. That's the hope.
The way that I proposed is, you know, I don't know if we're gonna go in this direction or not, but if it's approved, she would get an interest rate from the bank on that deposit. And my proposal was that would be a similar rate to what the EDA would charge her. So she would not have a cost for that 25,000, but the EDA would still make a little bit of money from interest. Her interest cost is gonna be to the bank for the line of credit. But again, the bank's gonna treat her a lot better because it's cash secured than it would if it were some other type of collateral.
Yeah, that was my other, like the bank isn't going to bury her in interest.
Exactly. Correct.
4%, right?
That's the EDA.
That would be the EDA portion. The bank would probably be 2% more than that. So 3.4 or something like that, something in that range.
Which is a phenomenal rate right now on a line of credit.
I just wish we had more time to get some more questions answered. Because obviously, we all have a lot of different questions on the situation. For that business to stay open and keep it thriving in downtown is by far my number one priority, but at what expense or what gamble do we want to take for that?
And what questions do you want answered?
What is her first 6 months of operation? I mean, is she gonna remodel and take ownership of January 1 and she's closed for the first month to remodel? I mean, in my opinion, if you have a restaurant and you're not coming with much money, I would open up because you can still function and run because it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Generate income once you figure out the basis, remodel or paint as you go on the weekends. I mean, stuff like that versus let's take the 20,000, let's buy this food, let's remodel, borrow it all and open the doors January 20th and hope it goes.
We know the answer to that though. I feel like I have read this information somewhere that she had a plan to close for a week to do some painting. I don't know, probably a deep clean and bang. I assume that, or would presume that she also is thinking, I don't got a whole lot of time here. The quicker I can get up and running and moving, the better. But yes,
And I have not seen anything like that, so I don't
so it
know.
obviously didn't come from you.
I've heard that too, but I don't know. I'm
Would
not,
you like me to ask Ann?
No, I mean,
Figure out
I'm
where
just
I-
stressing or voicing my opinions on this matter.
what else would you like to see?
I mean, because painting and remodel, I mean, it's operating now, it's working fine. I would want to get some money coming in
Mhm.
before we start doing them remodel. yeah, it does need to refresh, yeah, it could use this, yeah, it could use that. But starting a new business and asking for 25,000 with no skin in the game, it could set us up for a gamble. So just knowing some of the logistics of what her plan is to opening.
Is
And
that,
she just filled this out on the 8th of December. So we're a month before she takes ownership and now she's asking for 25,000. So then you have questions on that too. Or I do.
is that the EDA's mission though, to get that deep into how a business operates or is going to operate?
If you have no collateral, maybe. If you have collateral, maybe not. I mean, whatever, I'm just voicing my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And but obviously we have the clock is ticking because she's taking ownership in
Mm-hmm.
14 days or whatever, 15 days.
She came and got this on Friday after I spoke to Brian, and she turned it in on Monday. Granted, she didn't fill out a lot of it on the application. I still think she had information. But you can tell she's pretty anxious. So do we vote to move forward with it to draw up a line of credit, terms of a line of credit? Or do we wait to see what her plans are? What would you like to do as a board?
Well, we don't have a motion on the table yet, so once somebody makes a motion, we'll probably have to approve or amend or deny a motion.
Well, and typically, when we've had these requests, we've got a loan committee, right?
Right.
And that loan committee would have potentially reviewed this and brought a recommendation
The next meeting, yeah.
to the next meeting. But based on timing and those types of things, you know,
Can the EDA act without having a full meeting like this? Can we act based on email communications with all of us?
What do you mean by not having a full meeting?
In other words, can we take action
We have a quorum. So.
Yeah.
but if we,
I was asking
if we don't do it
Some
now?
answer to questions, can we vote via tomorrow or the next day, right? So you're asking.
Yeah, the next week or whatever.
I think you have to call a special meeting quick to vote on that in person.
I don't know.
I mean, I think that's what we have to do. We've done that with council a couple times on a couple issues over the years. But it could be different with EDA, but I mean.
We have voted on something, specific example, an ECC, an email to everybody, and I vote yes or no.
Is the option to reduce the risk? Can she get by with 15,000? I don't know.
you know, that kind of gets at what the mayor is saying, is that we don't know necessarily what that business plan is and how those dollars are going to be used. But
Have you as a bank seen a business plan?
no, because the,
She's not taking a loan. I mean,
She-
I don't know.
she's-
About,
Sorry, can I, this is a public meeting, you know, can I just be really arrogant? If it was, well, I'll put you on, if this was you doing this, we would be having this conversation. She just doesn't have a lot, right?
but the loans that I've had to take for my businesses, I don't know you have to do. I've had to fill out paperwork after paperwork and I've had a loan committee review it. And yeah, I mean, when I started, I didn't have money.
I understand. Brian, if she went to the bank and asked for this, she wouldn't get it, right?
correct,
I mean, let's just be honest, we're a
bank,
lender of last resort at this
the
point,
bank would need to have some sort of sufficient
Collateral.
collateral.
and there ain't none.
That's correct.
And that's kind of my concern.
Yeah. So then the question for me becomes, are we going to take a chance on a 20-year employee at Bridget's? I mean, I'm guessing she's been there 20 years. She's been there at least 10 or 12
I
because
think I heard day one she was there. but
probably she
I
worked
don't-
there when Paul was working there, when my kid was.
Rhoda.
This is a risk, you're not wrong. I am leaning towards giving this person a shot. If we lose 25 grand, that's shame on us.
It'd be a bigger shame if we didn't do it and Bridget's closed.
Exactly.
I think we'd hear that too.
And again, I drive by there every morning on my way to work. Tuesday through Friday, the same crew sitting at that front table. Probably talking politics that I wouldn't agree with. That's okay.
I've been
That's
there.
okay. And so I'm, you know, I'll make a motion that we move forward. We can respectfully disagree, and you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you choose to vote no, Mr. Mayor. But I would put a contingency on there that I want to know what's cooking with that account. I don't want to get to December of 2026 and then all of a sudden it's been maxed out. Since I'm making this up, February 15th, and she hasn't been able to access any of it. She's just servicing interest only. Then we've got a problem.
But what you do in 3 months when she's using 25,000, what can we do? Nothing, correct? If we don't write it. So I
Go
mean,
sit in a restaurant and order some food.
Right.
Get all your friends together.
I
Go
wonder,
have your meeting there.
I wonder, Dave, if in alignment with your message or your motion, if we could, with our approval up to 25,000, if the loan committee can investigate some of this and get some more detail and make sure you get the best possible agreement with her. I don't know if you got time to do that. It's Christmas, but
Mhm.
it's tough.
but my
time.
guess is she's already tried that a little bit at the bank. And the bank already knows the situation and hasn't or won't. That's why they're coming here.
But I don't know that the bank knows what her intents are. If she's closing for a month, I would agree that's an issue. But if she's just gonna try to keep it open as quick as she can, clean it up a little bit and get going, that's reasonable.
Well, I have to be very careful about confidentiality.
Fine.
But what I can say is there are certain stages in the approval process with the bank, as you well know. And I call them hurdles. And if you can't get over the hurdle, underwriting stops.
Yep.
So when collateral was a hurdle that couldn't get over, underwriting stopped.
Stop.
So a lot of those questions you're asking are legitimate questions, but the bank, myself,
They stopped because they couldn't.
we're not aware of
Yeah,
them.
and
And I,
Yeah, and you're not, I mean, I was born at night, but wasn't last night.
You sure?
You look pretty young. What's your motion then?
To move this along, I'll make a motion that we approve a loan to install for up to $25,000 contingent on EDA being provided regular updates and define regular, I don't know, I don't want this to be a monthly thing. I think 3 months, quarterly updates.
Quarterly updates.
And I'll take the heat for it if it falls apart. But
So let's say month 3 and you don't like the financials or the situation or the rumors. Can we stop and say she's only borrowed 20? Can we not give her the other 5?
Is that a term you can put on the line of credit?
line of credit's open until it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've
it'd be difficult.
got a $5,000 line of credit at the bank per year.
Yep.
Something you can close it.
Mhm.
Again,
Or abuse it.
or use it, yeah, that's fair.
The key is if she's still in business and she's paying the interest, which is not much.
Right.
But if she's open and paying the interest and still trying to make it, even if she maxes out, I guess she's got a year what happens at the end of a year? Is it payable?
I would say that at the end of a year, hopefully, the best case scenario is the cash flow supports not needing a line of credit or needing a reduced amount. Okay, so then the EDA has to decide, are we willing to renew it for 25,000 or willing to renew it for 15 or 10 or whatever, because she's hopefully paid for those one-time expenses. And it's just an operating line, very much an operating line of credit in year two and not a
So
startup.
hopefully she needs a new grill at $6,000. She's only got 3, takes the line out credit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping for. But starting a new business and not, the information, the lack of information we've gotten sitting here is what concerns me.
Yeah.
And knowing from the bank standpoint, she hasn't gone through the process. That's what concerns me. Thriving of downtown and the business and the restaurant, I want to do what we can help.
Well, it'd be different if she was opening up a brand new restaurant.
100%.
Yeah.
That would be a whole different.
This
ballgame.
is existing, so it's ongoing and it's successful, apparently. I don't know.
But you get a business, you get a restaurant entrepreneur from Rochester that wants to open a bar and grill downtown that's been in the restaurant business for 20 years, but not in Zumbrota, we'd probably do the same thing we're doing for Ann.
But we've never had a bar and grill open in town to know how it would serve our customers, but we have this existing business in town.
100%,
that
but
is
I'm just
serving.
saying, we always preach that we need more restaurants. If a brand new restaurant comes in, a bar and grill or a dinner place, we're gonna help them.
I've told Natalie Victoria 100 times to come and check out some.
I'll second Dave's motion.
Further discussion pertains more just to me and potential conflicts of interest and that type of thing. So should I be voting on this or should I be abstaining or what do you think?
Depends on how the vote goes, if you need to vote. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, considering as you are retiring before she would actually receive any of the money.
are you retiring by the end of the month?
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to.
She announced that
Okay.
like 4 months ago.
Mhm.
I didn't know a date and time.
Oh, yeah.
I knew he was retiring, I just didn't know a date and time.
Did you get a letter from him?
I did not. I see where I rate,
Yeah.
and I've gone through the process.
You're getting a different.
You must not own me.
Yeah,
If you
I
didn't
don't-
get a letter, you
I
must
don't
not
know
own me.
anything, I know.
But, I mean, we're breaking confidentiality here.
Yeah, but I know, I know.
You broke the confidentiality.
I owe you a lot. I'm the kind of customer the bank wants.
So you got David the motion, Lindsay seconded. Do we vote?
Any other discussion?
And you got the quarterly update.
Yep, quarterly update.
And I like the idea of, Rich is gonna be a good mentor for her. I believe that. But get involved with, force her to work with counselor.
Yeah,
Well, like you said,
SBDC.
yeah.
Yeah, small business.
Small business.
But it would also be nice to have her here too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're asking somebody if we could have thrown some questions at her, which
Was she
is,
invited?
No, I didn't better.
but it's an open meeting, so I mean.
But I think she would have come up if we would have thought about inviting her. So. I like the fact that we're looking at moving something forward with some conditions with potentially a secondary review by our loan committee. So, but still being able to meet the deadline as short as it is.
But we go to the low committee, we get to the 26th of December, and we find out she's got 14 collections and this and that. Can we pull the plug and not allow it?
Who's the loan
I think
committee?
James, Ryan.
Kim. Yep. Mhm. You're on it though. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if they see any red flags, I would hope that they would.
That's what we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
report back to this group. Yep.
So to answer your question, I think you should be able to vote, just
Okay.
because you will be done. I mean, plus you also know a little more information. Some you've told, some you haven't because of confidentiality.
Yep.
So I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't know
Okay.
everybody else's opinion.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right, let's go to the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay, and I'm just naying just
I know.
the facts and not enough information.
I think we're all a little uncomfortable. It's just,
The collateral issue,
Worth the
yeah,
worth.
I would have no
Yeah.
problem with it, but
good.
All right.
I think we need to report to her and say, hey, it passed, but we
That's-
got to go through our committee and we want to review this and this and this. I know we got 15 days.
That's what I was just gonna ask Kurt if he wants to communicate that or if you want me to.
And
Yeah,
we, that's, would you mind doing it? I can, I usually can, but
yeah,
I've been speaking to her.
yep. No,
And I'll try to get a meeting set up next.
Friday, let's do it this Friday.
Might do it this week.
Get this weekend. You got 2 days.
Yeah.
See how fast you can organize 3 other people. Kim works here.
it's here.
She works on Fridays.
I'm not here.
Dude, guess what?
Tomorrow.
I'll call you at noon for information.
I'll get, we'll see if we can get the meeting going.
yeah, hopefully like next Monday or
Would
something.
you be able to write up the terms of what we're
Yeah, what I'll probably do is, I'll probably stop down tomorrow and the 3 of us, at least, you and I and Kim can maybe knock out what we think it's gonna look like.
I'm gonna be again.
Okay, okay.
Okay, new business part B is Smith donation.
Yeah, we, every year make a donation to Smith, and I feel a little bit of Smith is. And this would be a yearly contribution of $1,250 to the Smith Endowment, which helps Zumbrota, helps other small communities with a variety of things.
It's been our standard to do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
For years. They're very, very good things.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's passed. Reports. Update, KB Apartments.
Yeah, we're getting down there with the KV Apartments. As you can see on this map, the small city lot is still owned by the city. So that has been sold to Keller Bartman. It went to the Planning and Zoning Commission and they accepted this for $3,600. It will then be rezoned in January. They're having a public hearing for the rezoning of that small lot. And then possibly KB will start demolition in the month of December or January. But that should bring most of, if not all of the public hearings to an end for Keller Bartman. I'm saying that because we never know. But as of now, that's what it is.
So essentially, all the land back there now is gonna be owned by them, so there's no public land for parking. Even though they say they're gonna keep it public, there's nothing to guarantee it.
Is that written in the
Is it written
purchase
in the,
agreement or something?
it's supposed to be in the development agreement. I haven't seen anything. I'd like to make sure we don't lose public parking.
Well, the parking in the alley is for,
I know, but they don't own all the land. They can someday say, hey, it's our land. Nobody else gets to park here.
yeah, it's about,
It's supposed to be in the development agreement, so that doesn't happen.
yeah, and that'll be done pretty soon.
There's, the city moves on these things and doesn't talk to us about it. We didn't know this was gonna get sold. It was never brought up.
Well, that was always a part of the apartment building.
I was under the impression that wasn't being sold either.
Exactly.
That there was just a portion of it that,
The city
They were
wants to stay
using
out
for
of
the-
trouble. They better start opening up to the community. And this stuff happens behind closed doors. And, it's not right.
But this was at planning and zoning in a public meeting. They had a public meeting.
No, I own a business right there. I didn't know about it.
It was posted. I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, there's nothing we can do about it, right? It's passed. It's sold.
Make sure that there is that language in the development agreement that it remains public parking.
How we gonna know that, Brian? Nothing ever gets shared.
But we have meetings, public hearings. I mean, it's all advertised. And nobody shows up. So I mean,
I was here when we talked about this, what they're gonna do in the alley, Keller
and
Barton.
it was talked about on all that.
It was,
too.
this was not talked
That
about.
wasn't, but it was publicized that this was coming to planning and zoning for a public hearing.
All right,
And I will check in the development agreement, but yes, you are correct, that they said that is gonna be public along that alleyway.
the whole alley.
Angled and it'll be approved.
Yeah.
So I will make sure that is still doing. I have not seen the finals of that, but I know that has been discussed and I know that has been your concern. And that's one thing that I will make sure that is taken care of. And or a year down the road and now they start clamping, no, you're not doing that because
Yeah.
of whatever. So that will be discussed.
Well, Brian said if it's in the development agreement, he said at a public hearing, if it's in the development agreement, they agree to it, it's permanent.
100%. And
So
I just, like I
that's what
said,
we need.
all that stuff is between the engineers and I
Yeah.
don't get into any of that development agreements. But I do know, and I do stand behind you on that, that is all public, that they can't say it's Keller Barton tenants only on that alleyway.
Okay, appreciate that, thank you.
I mean, and that's always been, I mean, we could talk for hours about this land and where it's at and the condition of it. If you want to have a private conversation, I would love to. But I'm just, I agree with you, that we do, and it's been discussed, that that will stay as public parking, or there won't be any signs, Keller Barton tenants only, it'll just be parking.
Okay.
And then if we come to a different issue where it's not tenants, it's your tenants or somebody else's tenants parking there, we might have to allocate a couple, but yeah, I agree 100% of what you're saying, and
The parking, you can't really allocate it to anybody necessarily unless it goes handicapped or something. But the key is that it remains open to the public
in the alleyway.
in the alleyway, yeah. Appreciate that, if you can follow up on it.
I got it written down right here.
8B, Tier 2 housing grant.
2000 grant, resolution was passed by the city council on December 4th. Resolution acknowledgement of the city being awarded the grant. The grant will, starting in January, we'll start having meetings on how to access that money. Bob will be a big part of that as well with the habitat.
Is that the windows and roofs and siding?
No, this is
This is specifically for Habitat.
That's that one.
Kurt and I worked on it to get some Habitat homes in town, one or two maybe. We'll see what we can do with it.
And then 8C, the Zabel?
Yeah, either way you want to say it.
ZABL.
We had a
Zabel,
So I
think
want
they
to say it.
a whole meeting on the 11th. Chamber of Commerce was spoken about quite a bit, the importance of that. They're looking to regroup, set goals, and they're having a meeting in January, which will be at Nature's Grind. And one of their top priorities is Berg's Auto on Main. Matt wants to move from that spot. But that's one of their top priorities, is trying to figure out if we can get him out of there and get him another spot, move on.
I'm supposed to be part of the, I don't know what they're calling it, but they wanted to have a core committee and I'm supposed to be part of it with Todd and Brian Haugen. Hopefully we can get a couple more people involved, but I've asked for a meeting with them because they've talked about this chamber and our last meeting was all about promoting, kind of like we talked about tonight. And that's pretty much what a chamber does, is promote your community. And they're in favor of that, but at the same time, Zabel, it seems like there's a faction of Zabel that wants to also promote, which is fine. But I just want to make, before, because I said I'd pursue the Chamber of Commerce, I just want to understand what their intents are and what they would like to do and make sure we're pulling the rope in the same direction, you know? So anyway, I haven't had that meeting with them yet. So we'll see what they want to do.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn.
Sounds good.
Take it easy.